Good morning, everybody. In the news this morning.
January 7th, 2009, Ann Coulter appears on the Today Show and is interviewed by Matt Lauer after Meredith Vieira flees the scene. Yesterday, on the 6th, she was supposed to appear, but she was bumped by Perez Hilton and Rachel Maddow. Here's the video. Start.
Conservative author is out with a brand new book. She rails against liberals for always playing the victim game. She says the Democrats and liberals in the mainstream media are trying to destroy America. She's also claiming that after we canceled her appearance here yesterday, that we were banning her for life from the Today Show. So it's going to be fun talking to her in just a couple of minutes. And Ann Coulter joins us live.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
Liberal victims and their assault on America. Ann, good morning. Nice to have you here.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
I want to talk about Burris in a second, but let me just get to this little controversy. You've been all over the blogs in the last day or so. We canceled your appearance here on Tuesday, and from what I've been reading, you thought you were banned for life from the show. Were you behind that report?
No, I didn't say that. That was from a reliable news report that, by the way, has never had to retract a report on exploding GM trucks. But I do note that, like NBC.
So we're either dead or you weren't banned.
It apparently took 8 hours for the Today Show to remember that there was a Wednesday show that I could be invited back to. It took the Drudge Report posting that for the Wednesday invitation to appear, but I'm very happy to be here.
You said all kinds of things that one of the reasons you weren't on the show is because the mainstream liberal media hates conservatives. I mean, you do know that we...
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
Where did I say that?
I think it was on Hannity and Combs or something like that.
That the mainstream media hates conservatives? Yeah. I didn't say that.
You know that we've had every major conservative...
I have much more colorful language. I mean, you're capturing the thought. That's just not my language.
Do you think, though, that much was made of this and maybe you helped fan the fire here a little bit to make a controversy?
No, I don't think I'd be sitting here now if it hadn't been a headline on Drudge. But let's get to the book, because I do want to talk about the book.
But we've had you on so many times in the past. After every book, you've always been invited back. Why would you all of a sudden be banned?
Why? I don't know. I mean, that's not for me to answer what your motives are. We traded you out for Tony Blair yesterday.
And I think that's a pretty good switch.
You had more than Tony Blair on for 4 hours.
Yeah, right. But you were in your slot where you were supposed to be yesterday morning was Tony Blair.
And Rachel Maddow and various gossip columnists and a bear.
Afterward.
The point is, I was canceled twice, and it wasn't until the Drudge Report ran a headline on its own reporting, and the Drudge Report has never had to retract a report.
You know what that expression
NBC
is?
News
Just
has.
Because you're paranoid doesn't mean you don't have enemies. But anyway, let's get to the book. Let me get to Roland Burris first. Let me get to Roland Burris first. What's going on here? Has Rod Blagojevich pulled a fast one on the Democratic leadership here?
I am like Roland Burris. I was turned away, but I'm back.
But, I mean, has he pulled one over on the Democrats here?
Look, I haven't been following this. I have a brand new book out. I'm very happy about it. All I can say is they're all Democrats, so I don't really care what happens. But I do know, I have read the Constitution, and the Senate cannot turn away an appointed senator by a sitting governor. They can't do it.
In the book, you say that liberals play victims all the time, and then they use that victimization to go on the attack.
Right.
You also say that the liberal media and Democrats are out to accomplish the same thing. They want to destroy America. So, I mean, go ahead. Why do liberals and the media want to destroy America?
Why? Their motives? Well, I'd have to be their confessor or psychologist to understand that. I'm describing the results. And one beautiful example of this, my chapter 2 of the book, is the exaltation of single motherhood. It's promoted in the New York Times, in all of the glossy women's magazines and Hollywood movies. And we now know, after 30 years of promoting single motherhood, of the courts destroying the institution of marriage, that children raised without fathers are filling up the prisons, are 70% of the teenage runaways, of teenage pregnancies, of rapists.
Hasn't the mainstream media also done extensive reporting on the problem of the disintegration of the American family?
Not so
and
much.
Talked about the responsibility that needs to be held by men and fathers and all that sort of thing?
Not so much, actually. I mean, I think I document that pretty well. You have Barbara Ehrenreich, who used to be a regular reporter for Time magazine and the New York Times, and she is constantly denouncing the nuclear family. National Organization for Women has a bumper sticker, one nuclear family can destroy your whole life.
There are a lot of other voices that say, hey, we need fathers and mothers to raise children together. The point I want to make with this is you say it, and I don't have time to read the whole excerpt from the book, and if people want to buy it, they should go off and do that. But you say it in a fairly outrageous way, the last sentence of which, and I need my glasses now, the last sentence of which is, countless studies on the subject make clear, look at almost any societal problem, and you'll find it is really a problem of single mothers.
Yes.
And I think Harry Smith, tried to raise this point with you yesterday. When you make outrageous comments...
That isn't outrageous, that's a fact.
When you make outrageous comments and you use that kind of venomous tone, in some ways, do you cut your own credibility off and take away from the real viable points you make in some of this?
Okay, can I answer now?
Sure.
It'll be more than half a sentence. No, I mean, on one hand, you just said, look, the mainstream media, we're totally standing up for the nuclear family, and then you turn around and say that the statement you just quoted is an outrageous statement to make.
No,
I said there would be more than one. It would be more than half a sentence. What I just said there is absolutely true. Look at any societal problem. It is a problem of single motherhood. I quote Charles Murray saying basically the same thing.
Well, let me just clear
that
you up. You said almost any. I mean, if you want to say any societal problem is a result of single motherhood, that would be crazy. Any. You said almost. Even in your book, you say almost.
Oh, okay, but I'm speaking extemporaneously. You're going to take it almost.
Do you think every societal problem?
No, I describe what they are in the book in great detail and with enormous numbers of statistics. I mean, it's not a static problem because new illegitimate babies are being born every year, being raised without fathers. New runaways, teenage runaways, new murders are occurring every day. So, it changes. But study after study for years have shown that 70% of the prison population, children of unwed mothers, 60 to 70% of teenage runaways, teenage pregnancies, teenage murderers, teenage rapists. In fact, there's a liberal institute, the Progressive Policy Institute, that says if you take out the factor of illegitimacy, the difference in black-white crime rates completely disappears. This is a massive problem, and no, the mainstream media does not discuss it. In fact, you're shocked by this line of mine, and unfortunately...
No, I only read one line.
Republicans...
The section in the book goes on in some other directions that I think are over the line. That's the reason I made the point.
Well, quote that sentence to me then.
Let me do this. Let me ask you this other thing. In the book, throughout the book, you refer to the president-elect, Barack Obama, as B. Hussein Obama.
Not throughout the book.
Well,
I sometimes call him the Angel Obama.
In a lot of places. You don't refer to President Bush as G. Walker Bush. Why would you, if not for the reason of appealing to the extreme readers of your book who still believe, despite all the information and despite the fact it's simply untrue, that he's Muslim?
It's not untrue that that's what his middle name is.
But why would you refer to him in that way when no one else refers to him in that way?
He refers to himself that way.
As B. Hussein Obama?
We now know that he likes his middle name.
But as B. Hussein Obama?
He's announced that he's going to use his middle name now.
Well, so I think George Walker Bush...
You act like this is a hate crime to use his middle name.
Too, but he doesn't call himself G. Walker Bush. I'm just saying you don't refer to anyone else in that way.
Okay,
but by
I think it's insane
Hussein,
to act like using someone's actual middle name is some sort of vicious hate crime. Point one. Point two.
Why take his first name out of the mix?
Because we just went. I mean, it is funny, Matt Lauer. I'm not going to deny that there is something ironic about having just gone to war with an enemy named Hussein, and they're running a guy whose middle name is Hussein. This would be like Republicans. I'm going to finish the sentence no matter what you do.
I didn't say a word.
Oh yeah, we're getting ready. In 1948, running instead of Thomas Dewey, if it were Thomas Hitler Dewey, if that were his middle name, I think it would have come out. If we were running candidates named,
Would we have called him T. Hitler Dewey?
I think it would have been mentioned.
We've just come through an election cycle where it seemed to me, and maybe I'm completely wrong, because apparently, according to you, I'm wrong about most things, but that people have decided it's time to address the issues that face this country, the economy clearly one, unemployment, things like that, and to maybe concentrate less on what divides us. Did you not get that sense from this? I mean, I'm just asking, you didn't get that sense from this election?
No, to the contrary, and as I detail at great length in this book, we didn't, I mean, to say we want to concentrate on the issues, then why wasn't B. Hussein Obama asked about the issues? He was asked, as I describe over and over in my book, the tough gotcha questions he'd get from the media were things like, how did you feel tonight? You must have been thinking about your parents.
Do you not get
That's
a sense,
from
though, that
Brian
people
Williams.
want...
Meanwhile, Sarah Palin is memorizing the last 7 kings of Swaziland.
That they want a different attitude, that they want maybe to start to pull together?
No, I think liberals want conservatives to stop talking so that you can keep telling us how marvelous B. Hussein Obama is. You were not asking him about the issues during the campaign, which is why, well, the next 4 years, I think, are going to be a surprise for all of us because he can't keep voting present.
George Bush leaving office in 2 weeks. What are your thoughts on his departure?
Well, I'm grateful to him for keeping the nation safe for the last 8 years. We'll see if that continues. We don't really know that much about what the president-elect is going to do because he was being asked so much about how he thinks his parents would feel tonight. You must have been thinking of them. And how do you think the Republicans will come after you?
The book is called Guilty, Ann Coulter. I'm glad you're back.
Oh, so am I. Thank you.
It's good
nice
to be
see
here.
you again.
All right, we are going to, by the way, you're not banned for life, obviously, okay? Your next book comes out.
Thank you. I'm
sure
delighted to hear that.
You'll be sitting right here again. Let's get a check of the rest of the morning.